And when you look at the clients that you are serving or that you are helping out, how has tell us some of the successful strategies that you have seen that some of either your organization or some of the one that you are assisting, um, they really handle the pandemic and the experience aspect really well, that you say, okay, this is probably a good role model. Like what are some of those, if you can walk us through those?
Sure. So, I mean, there are so many examples where every organization had to figure out what they could do in the last 18 months. I think some of the ones that are really successful are the ones that were very transparent about their own humanity, right? Acknowledging their limitations in their ability to serve their customer. When we think about it, restaurants that perhaps weren't open or didn't have the full services that they otherwise normally would have provided. So I think we got a glimpse into more transparent communication, more sort of demonstration of humanity, that these are organizations that are not perfect too, and they all had to figure out what they could do to stay alive and to serve their customers and keep their employees on board. And I think the ones that are really thriving are the ones that have been able to kind of regain their trust, right? When it comes to safety, when it comes to, re-engaging with those organizations. And so, I mean, I point to those organizations that are nimble, that have figured out what it means to, again, I'll say it again, just to being human at scale, like using data, using, their kind of hybrid technologies to figure out how to create that human connection.
And from your perspective, what is an organization that is doing a really good job, right? So basically, have you given it thought that on the maturity scale, if an organization or a culture promote this kind of experience building? I think you said it, being human at scale. I think that's a wonderful word. So have you given it a thought that what's a mature, well-run experience organization look like?
So there's so many companies and organizations that I admire, who have really kind of put experience at the center of what they do. I think some that I might kind of point out, like I really admire what Delta Airlines had done with their gratitude campaign about a year ago, and it was a campaign, but it was also, you could show up in the airport and they had a gratitude wall where you could write a little note. And put something that you were grateful for, and a person who might have, a traveler who might have come in behind you could get that note. So I think that's just a great example of kind of what it means to kind of build connections even among strangers, right? When we fly, we are very much among strangers, but we are all looking to make a connection. So I think Delta Airlines has done a nice job of that. I admire, organizations that are very founded in my language, what it means to focus on the human. But so whether it's a Patagonia or a Chobani, that they really are putting some larger sense of purpose at the forefront of what they're doing.
Well put. And on the human experience innovation that are happening around the ecosystem, like what are some of the innovations that you're really excited about seeing? Whatever is happening, like what are some of the things that you're optimistic, or you're seeing that this is where the human experience aspect of an organization is heading to?
Again, there's so many different things to kind of, just to pick one or two examples. I'll share with you maybe an example in my own organization where, as we're sort of focused on what it means to kind of elevate the human experience, starting with our workforce, we've done something where we've created a human experience dream team. And what we do is we send out a survey, a simple survey that everyone would get about once a month. And we simply ask, what can we do to elevate your human experience? And it's not anonymous. So you can write in and sort of, say, I'm having a bad day, or my basement flooded, or I've written in personally and said, what would elevate my experience is, high quality dark chocolate. And and there is an actual team of humans, right, who's looking at all the data, going back to the humanity and the data, And that team sort of sorts through all of these things. Some cases you just route it to, the policy or the website that person might need help with. But we can also, create those surprise and delight moments where there was the time where the team found me where I was traveling to that day and actually got me, the high quality dark chocolate. And so it's not just about that moment, but obviously it made an impact on me, right, in terms of my own experience. But then also what we can do to kind of take a look at all of that data, right, where we can kind of, as leaders of organizations, understand where is the sentiment, where are people struggling, what are the challenges that we need to focus on, and what might we need to change in terms of our leadership and in our policies more broadly. So just an example, again, coming back to the kind of the data and the human experience.
And if I am if I am an organization leader, so like if I'm leading an organization and I'm obviously gone through this pandemic lockdown, I see that my employees are suffering. They have been alone and all that, and my technology is again high touch. I'm a high touch organization. Um, what would I learn? Like, what would you suggest me? What would you tell me that I should do to at least get on the journey of creating a more human experience centric organization?
I love that you're asking that because I think about the fact that one of the reasons I do this work is because it's the type of world I want to live in, right? It's the type of organization I personally want to be a part of, one that is asking that exact question, like how can I show up in a way that's more human? So what I'll say is I think there's three paths that we can go on, and I share this as you know in my book. But the first path is all about what it means as a leader to grow as an individual. And because if we got to do the work on ourselves first before we can kind of show up and do it for or with anyone else. The second path is what we do as allies, sponsors and mentors to another, and to kind of help them feel like they are worthy on their own human experience. And then finally, and obviously most challenging, is what we can do as leaders to change the system that we participate in. Right? If the system is broken, it's our job to redesign it and fix it so that everybody feels like they can show up with their authentic, worthy selves at work.